And here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. It's now 11:20 in the evening, close to 12 o'clock. So this is a late one for me, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. So Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, the point of topic of conversation. Let me turn this volume up so you can hear me nice, and clearly. Right, it's pretty loud. So I want to talk about a few topics. So a few topics within the Anthony Joshua Alexander Usyk rematch. What start with? Shall we start with this very strange statement? I think Joshua was recently I think it was at university, maybe in Oxford University, where you sit down and you talk with people. Talk with students. Hi, Popcorn Boxing, hope you're well. And so I saw it and I couldn't believe what was being said, but I'm just going to go through some of the article. Let me bring this up on, let's do a share screen. Let's do a share screen. Share screen. Let's get volume up. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so I think Josh is basically saying that he's going to give away the belts. I'll read the whole article. Let me see. You've got it's by Ben Davis. Gareth H. Davis there. But let me just put this up here. Get my face out of the way, and I'll just read this article to you, and we'll take it from there. Very strange things to say, but anyway, Anthony Joshua could be willing to dash the unified heavyweight titles if he beats Alexander Usyk to prove he demands respect, even without the belts. AJ is just a month away from his quest to becoming three-time heavyweight champion when he meets Alexander Usyk for the second time in Saudi Arabia. Joshua was beaten comfortably by the Ukrainian last September, which saw him lose his unified world titles and take a step further away from meeting rival Tyson Fury. Joshua could put himself in the perfect position to challenge Fury, with the winner becoming the first undisputed heavyweight champion since Lennox Lewis. However, Joshua has admitted he doesn't want to be respected as a fighter purely based on the titles he has earned. When I came into this division, it was whack, Joshua told it's a JD Sports interview. When asked about his heavyweight career, I thought, all right, you know what? I'm going to come into this game and take on everyone and anyone. Doesn't matter who I can beat. It doesn't matter who I can beat what's in front of me, and I've got to make sure that they're top. Maybe because I'm British, that none of these lot respect my thing. I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to bring the heavyweight division to Great Britain. I'll show people we are solid, because I think people think we drink tea and eat biscuits and sit with the Queen. I feel like I'm not getting looked at as someone who is a dominant heavyweight in the division. This big Anthony Joshua goes and wins, becomes three-time. I'm going to dash these belts because you've got to learn to respect me as a person. Quote that, I'm tired. I don't want to be respected because of the belts. I want to be respected because of the man you see. Joshua built a reputation of being one of the division's top fighters as he rose to become unified champion, beating the likes of Vladimir Klitschko. However, he lost the titles for the first time in 2019 after suffering a shock defeat. Well, it wasn't a shock to me, by Andy Ruiz. Joshua reclaimed the titles and became two-time champion in his second meeting with Ruiz, which was held in the Middle East, but he is likely to be facing an even tougher battle this time out after Usyk's dominance at the first fight in the UK last year. Despite suggesting he could ditch the belts if he gets revenge, Joshua remains hugely interested in a clash for all the marbles against Fury next. Fury has stated that he has fought for the first time in the boxing ring after defeating Dillian Whyte, but many close to him, including wife Paris, believe he can make a comeback to face Joshua. The Gypsy King previously indicated they would take an offer close to $500 million to return to the ring and face his rival. However, Fury has changed his stance recently, meaning he would go to fight Joshua for free. Flip-flop Fury, and we're not talking about him today, we're talking about Joshua. So Joshua's now telling people now that you've got to respect him as a man. Okay. where's my arrow? Yeah, you got to respect him as a man. People don't respect him. I'm like, well, hold on. People don't respect you because of the actions and the decisions that you make. You know, you're a heavyweight. You say you're not a dominant heavyweight. Well, you don't conduct yourself like a dominant heavyweight because you do things that dominant heavyweights just don't do. Like you give your belts to your opposition. So that's one of the things that, you know, the way you conduct yourself as a heavyweight champion. And you talk about this thing about respect and you want people to respect you. I remember when you got beat by Andy Ruiz and you made a statement like, you know, after I beat Andy Ruiz, people are going to have to bow down to me. I mean, that doesn't, respect is earned. Do you understand? And the way you say things and the way you conduct yourself at times, people lose respect for that. You know, when you are spending time disrespecting or saying like Lennox Lewis is a clown, and this guy's a 3-time heavyweight champion, undisputed champion, and you're calling that man a clown, well, you know, that can be a bit of a problem. Let's see, that can be a bit of a problem. You know, when you make certain decisions, like for example, you decide to box Alexander Usyk. And that was a poor decision. You decided to box him, and the reason why you boxed him was because Tyson Fury said you're a pumped-up weightlifter, so you decided to box him, and then you got beat. But then you tell people that you were boxing like Muhammad Ali in there. Some of the statements you make don't make sense. You know, you're saying that you're going to rip up, you know, the sweet science in boxing. But then you turn around and telling people that, you know, sweet science of boxing is important. I mean, you run around with all different types of trainers. Respect is earned, you know. And then you're telling the unified heavyweight championship of the world, the prestigious belts in heavyweight boxing, you're going to dash the belts. Well, if you're going to dash the belts and you really want to be respected, don't fight for the belts. Don't fight for the belts. Because you're contradicting something. It's another thing. Contradicting like Tyson Fury. We know he's the king of flip-flops. So that's different. But with you now, if the belts don't mean so much to you, Anthony, why are you fighting for them? Why doesn't that about being 3-time? Why didn't you just say, you know what? Forget them belts. Let me go and fight Tyson Fury. Fury's available. You could have made the Fury fight. You could have said, I let Usyk go and do it with them belts. Them belts don't mean nothing. Let me go and fight Fury. Because we know now, you said it yourself, you're about the Wonga. And that's understandable. You're about the money. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But when you go out and you tell people it's not about boxing, because I heard in some interview you were at the university, it's not about boxing for me. It's not about the boxing fans. It's more about the Wonga making the money, if I'm honest. It's about the money. And if it is about the money, fine, Anthony, and that's the case, and you make statements like that, and it's hardly going to help your outlook or the way people view you if you make statements like that. It's all about the Wonga. You know, at the end of the day, people are paying a lot of money, hard-earned money, to see you fight. And if you're not applying yourself in the right fashion and way, then people, you know, lose respect for you, you know? So it's something that I think respect is earned. Respect is earned. You can't say to people, well, if I beat Andy Ruiz, people have to bow before me. I don't get that, you know? I mean, when you look for respect, what do you want people to say to you? He said something like, oh, people, who are these people that think that you go abroad, that you drink tea and I mean, you know, you're not the only dude from England. I mean, I'm sure they didn't think Joe Kazaki was drinking tea with the Queen when he was fighting Bernard Hopkins. I'm sure they weren't thinking Lennox Lewis was drinking tea with the Queen when he was knocking out Mike Tyson, or he's boxing ears off Evander Holyfield, or he was dropping Michael Grant with a big uppercut, or he was jabbing the head off of David Tua, or he was blasting Andrew Grotta through the ropes, or he was going toe-to-toe with one of the biggest punchers in the division, or two of the biggest punchers in the division, Shannon Briggs and Vladimir Klitschko, Vitaly Klitschko, sorry, or when he was going out there and he got knocked out by Hassan Rahman and he came back in America and knocked Rahman out, sparkle clean. I think they respected Lennox Lewis because he was a man on a mission. He was a serious man. You know what I mean? I don't think. I think he got respect like that by doing the business and being consistent. And when he was champion, he was a consistent champion. Regular defenses, and the Wilder thing didn't help your case at all. Your promoter hasn't helped you, Eddie Hearn. He certainly hasn't helped you, your case. And then you haven't done yourself any favors with some of the statements that you come out with. So if you want respect, it starts with you. It starts with you when you were going around seeing all these different coaches, but yet you already knew that you had Robert Garcia as your trainer, but you were going around seeing all these coaches. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so that's the first thing. The second thing I want to talk about is Anthony Joshua's sparring partners. So we know. Let's talk about Anthony Joshua's sparring partners, because I know that before he was sparring partners, the sparring partners weren't brilliant. They were kind of amateurish. But anyway, let me just bring up an article for you. Right. Here's one of the guys that Anthony Joshua brought in for sparring. The criteria of what Anthony Joshua, AJ brought in for sparring. One of the guys he brought in. Because Erica must be laughing at AJ, Eddie Hearn, Puppet Show, Matchroom Waitrose. Let me bring this up for you now. This article about Anthony Joshua. We're going back to when Joshua was preparing to face Usyk the first time round. And the question I'm asking myself is, has Anthony Joshua learned from his mistakes? And has he got better sparring in for this fight against Usyk in the rematch? Well, this is one of the kind of guys he brought in for sparring. No disrespect to the gentleman, but this is the guy that he brought in for sparring. And you tell me what you think. Let me bring stop screen here. Share screen again. Share screen. There you go. Let's bring in and bring the article. Right, so here we go. So the sparring partner that he brought in was a southpaw, and he was there to copy Alexander Usyk, right? He was there to mimic the Usyk style. Bear in mind, he was asking, I think it was Andre Jarrell for how to spar a southpaw. This came out of Stephen McKinley's mouth. But let's have a look at this article. So this was back in 21st of June 2021. Okay, and this is Anthony Joshua preparing to face the challenger then, Alexander Usyk, the former undisputed cruiserweight world champion. So it says here, Anthony Joshua, sparring partner to copy Alexander Usyk. Thomas Carty has a fan base. He can fight, and he's a southpaw. What the hell has a fan base got to do with? Anyway, he's an athletic fighter, big and strong. Says Thomas Carty's manager. He lives the life, loves to be in the gym. Thomas will be a big name in the future. Okay, so you're getting a guy who. Okay, let's move it on anyway. Anthony Joshua has brought in Thomas Carty, an up-and-coming Irish heavyweight, as a sparring partner to emulate Alexander Usyk. Joshua will defend his IBF, WBA, WBO heavyweight titles against Usyk in late September at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Okay. As a southpaw heavyweight, Usyk is a rarity, so finding sparring partners to copy that style could be a challenge for. But Carty has already emulated the unbeaten Ukrainian in training with Derek Chisora, and Chisora lost that fight. Anyway, describe the sparring sessions with Joshua. Carty, no ego whatsoever. Sparring is just sparring, and there's no liberties taken. Nobody has asked anything in particular of me. I'm left-handed and I'm light on my feet. I utilize a lot of movement, so I naturally emulate Usyk. Really? Okay. You can feel the intensity of the training. Everyone here is here to work. You can feel the vibe and the atmosphere. What's it been like to rub shoulders with Joshua? AJ's a gent. He's a normal bloke, nothing crazy. He's the heavyweight champion, but he's just an average bloke. Really nice fella. I have the same goals. Iron sharpens iron. As a southpaw, you are a rare commodity in the heavyweight division. Okay. Not really. Luis Ortiz is a southpaw. And this is Sanchez a southpaw. Isn't Charles Martin a southpaw? That's 3 southpaws I can mention to you already. Anyway, it's a tactical advantage, but only if utilized properly. I don't have a big extra arm or leg, but I do see the benefits. So many orthodox guys have only boxed orthodox fighters. It makes me stand out. I'm a young Irish southpaw heavyweight. There are no others. What goals do you have? It's a long journey. I had my first pro week just 2 weeks ago, but one day I hope to be in AJ's. I had my first pro week just 2 weeks ago, but one day I hope to be in AJ's position. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. If it wasn't good enough, I wouldn't be doing this. It's a hard game, and not enough people make what they want out of it. If I didn't have a good chance, I wouldn't be in it. Do it. I'm no idiot. I have realistic expectations, and they are to be heavyweight champion of the world one day. Carty's trainer and manager Pascal Collins said he's an athletic fighter, big and strong. He lives the life, loves to be in the gym. He doesn't go out celebrating a win. He stays in the gym and keeps learning. Self-belief, he's never had support where he has been told that he's really good. When that clicks and believes in him more, he will be a power in the pro game. Most boxers don't like to fight southpaws. If you've got 100 boxers in the gym, maybe one will be southpaw. In the heavyweight division, apart from Usyk moving up from cruiserweight, then there's Luis Ortiz. Other than that, there's 2. There's Frank Sanchez, I believe, is southpaw, and also there's Charles Martin. There's 2 for you there. It's an advantage as a heavyweight to be a southpaw, right? So Thomas is also big, 116 kilograms, so he can punch. His punches come from the southpaw position. She shows him coming. AJ has given Thomas advice on what he should do and what he should try. Thomas will be a big name in the future. He's big, but he also speaks well. He has a fan base. He can fight. He's a southpaw. He has big plans here. Yeah, that's the guy who's inspiring AJ in preparation to fight OLEKSANDR Usyk, guy who had only just turned pro, 2 weeks of being a pro. It tells you something. It tells you something, the type of quality sparring AJ was having. That was the kind of sparring AJ was having coming into the first fight with OLEKSANDR Usyk. Okay, just bear that in mind a second. Let's bring this back here. It says here, let's bring this up the screen because he said Garcia told him what you got, told him people want what you got. Has anybody told AJ he's got nothing in his deluded mind? He still thinks he's a champ. Nothing but a chump that has been, as somebody said, which was Lennox Lewis. I turned Hassan Rahman to has been Rahman. See? Yeah. So anyway, AJ Fix is in the Middle East. Get Sanchez for sparring. Oh, Eddie Hearn don't want to do business with PBC. Well, you know that. No, Eddie Hearn has done business with PBC. He did good business with PBC. That's why Ortiz knocked Joshua out. He didn't want to do business with Don King. AJ is the only guy who fought southpaw and doesn't fire down the middle. Is Joshua still sparring amateur fighters? Hi, by the way. I don't know, but if he is, like this guy Carty, he had his pro 2 weeks before, and he had his first pro week. Like he was a pro for 2 weeks. Then he went and sparred Anthony Joshua. He's big, he's strong, he's southpaw, and he's emulating Usyk. I don't think you're emulating Usyk being just a southpaw with 2 weeks as a pro. I don't think that emulates Usyk. To emulate Usyk, you're more go like somebody get an experienced fighter like a Charles Martin, a Luis Ortiz, those guys, a Sanchez. The guy's going to make you miss and make you pay and hurt you. That kind of guy. This guy sounds like a guy who's just happy to be in the ring with Anthony Joshua. Anyway, so here's the third thing I want to mention to you all. In passing and thinking. I don't believe Anthony Joshua when he says he's going to be 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. I think he's been told it and he's trying to believe it as much as he can. Because I'm going to bring you back to another article regarding the mental setup of Anthony Joshua. Now, I'm not ripping this guy apart, but this is stuff he says himself. So let me bring you to this third article. Again, this was before the second fight with. Good evening, by the way. No worries. This is the second video here. Oh, no, it's the second article here on Anthony Joshua. This is before Joshua was going to fight Usyk now. This is just a pre-fight. So I want you to consider this a second. And I wonder if you would have put the same bets on if you were believing Joshua was going to win the fight. Let's get here, share screen. Let's listen to this article a second. And you tell me if this sounds like a heavyweight champion of the world to you. Grueling sparring session. Here we go. Have a listen to this. Okay. Anthony Joshua explains grueling sparring for OLEKSANDR Usyk fight. This is September the 20th, 2021. Let's go. Anthony Joshua has admitted to doubt. Now, in 2022, Robert Garcia is saying that Anthony Joshua needs to believe in himself. He doesn't believe in himself enough. He needs to believe in himself more. Okay, we're in 2021. Okay, Anthony Joshua has admitted to doubt during agonizing sparring sessions designed to strengthen his mind and body before fighting OLEKSANDR Usyk. Bear in mind, now when you read this article, bear in mind what I just told you about the sparring partners of Anthony Joshua. Let me bring this article up. You've been sort of sparring partners who's out there, amateur sparring partners who's having. Joshua, IBF, WBA, WBO heavyweight titles are at stake against Usyk on Saturday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, live on Sky Sports box office. The reigning champion has described the pressure he faces in sparring to adapt to the unbeaten Usyk style. Deep practice is where I put myself on the edge, where I am vulnerable, so I can improve. It says, I don't know what he's saying here. Anthony Joshua collides with undefeated Ukrainian OLEKSANDR Usyk, WBO mandatory challenger on Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday live. This is 2021, remember, on Sky Sports box office. I don't even want to be the best in the gym. Every time I spar like I'm performing. I've had enough tough spars. I am doubting myself. Throughout the training camp with Southpaws, I've practiced. I'm comfortable where my development is. So he's comfortable where his development is. And if you're comfortable where your development is, all right. Shokran Purani, one of Joshua's sparring partners, told Sky Sports, Usyk doesn't have power. In rounds 9, 10, or 11, he won't have the power to fight. And AJ will break him down. Yeah, that's the sort of thing you need to be hearing. I believe that it was in round 12, he almost knocked AJ out. Stumbled AJ in round 3. Anyway, Usyk won't have the power. Joshua and Usyk both won gold medals in the London 2012 Olympics. And Usyk has gone on to become undisputed cruiserweight champion. Now he wants to add heavyweight glory. News update, he did. Joshua insists he does not consider Usyk to be an opponent boxing above his weight class. All boxers can move up in weight. Some feel better at a higher weight. They carry more power and feel fresher. In my mind, I've removed the conversation that he's a cruiserweight. I get it, but I like the to challenge myself. So I move it out of the way. Let's look at where I am skill-wise and technique-wise. I've got what I have already, the strength. Since I came into boxing in 2008, I've had a rapid rise, maybe due to sheer strength, size, heart. I took a massive challenge early on. Usyk's another great champion, great fighter, but I don't really fold under pressure. This is fun. This is deep practice. When I get into the ring, it's time to practice everything I know. I'm rather experienced now. You have to go through trials and tribulations. Usyk's another test, difficult test for Joshua, who hopes to meet Tyson Fury in a fight to decide the undisputed world heavyweight championship. Since his shock loss to Anthony Ruiz, Joshua's recovered with a rematch to win Remus, and just 6 months later, he knocked out Kubrat Pulev. I asked God for strength, and he gave me battles, Joshua said. When I pray for strength, I want to fight the Usyks and the champions because that's how you find out how strong you are. For me, bring it on. I cherish that. I don't pray for strength, then want it easy. You have to go through certain experiences to have wisdom. Those experiences are not always in your favor. You've got to go through turbulent times. Okay, well, that's Anthony Joshua right there. So back then, he was doubting himself. He was doubting himself back then. And that was on the eve, talking about doubt on the eve. But I remember Evander Holyfield talking about doubt because Andy Ruiz was beating him up so much in sparring. Andy Ruiz was beating Holyfield up in sparring. I believe he was using Andy Ruiz for sparring. No, was it Andy Ruiz? No, Andy Ruiz or David too, or both of them. I can't remember. But he was using them for sparring. And he was getting beaten up. Maybe it was two of those beating up his sparring. And he had doubts about fighting Tyson. But he went on and beat Tyson afterwards. Do you believe given AJ's issue of getting concussed in sparring, that they should dial back how late in camp they spar? And this is a good idea at this level at heavyweight boxing. Well, it seems to be not just AJ, because I don't know if you remember the sparring stories about David Price, which I used to tell people about. He used to get beat up in sparring. Kubrat Putlov used to beat him up in sparring regularly. I'm sure that did him no favors whatsoever. So, no, I don't think it's helpful, but that's your trainers. That's why you need to have a good trainer to gauge what sort of sparring you're having. Because getting knocked out in sparring is not good. It's not. Hello. Hi, Lekvinda. Long time no see. Hope you are. Delhi, yes, Delhi FA Cup champion with Brighton and Hove Albion. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just check out our FIFA 22 section. Dele Alli, Brighton Hove manager, won the FA Cup in his first season and has just become Tottenham Hotspur manager. It's just a bit of FIFA gaming. But anyway, back on it. So that's where it is. I don't believe Anthony Joshua when he says he believes he's going to be three-time heavyweight champion of the world. I believe he's been told that. And I believe that Robert Garcia has done him no favors. Robert Garcia is telling him he's giving him notes. I don't know, man. I don't know. And then Joshua's talking about the money. I don't know, man. Unless the fix is in, I don't know. He could become three-time heavyweight champion. He's got the punching power to do it. But I hope he's invested in sparring. I hope Joshua's invested in quality sparring. I hope. I don't know if anybody can find out who Anthony Joshua is sparring, but I hope he's invested in quality sparring partners. Because if he hasn't, it's same again, sir. So what you try and do this time is do what you were meant to do the first time round, which I believe he's going to try and do. But has he got the quality sparring? Is he using amateurs for his sparring? No, he needs professional fighters. He needs fighters that are not going to care about his reputation, are going to go in there with the intention to beat him up, make him look bad, make him look silly. That's the sort of sparring that Joshua needs to be having, But it doesn't matter what Robert Garcia says. He calls Robert Garcia a bad boy trainer. Okay, so if Robert Garcia is a bad boy trainer, what does that make James Ali Bashir? I don't know. I don't know. I've gone beyond trying to understand that man. This man, I don't get it. Mike Tyson, upon release from prison '96, to throw all defensive skills out the window and just be a big puncher. How did that work out? Don't be deceived, AJ. Well, we'll see. We'll see. It's only a matter of time. So if somebody can get back to me, do their research and find out for me who Anthony Joshua's got in sparring, who his sparring partners are, has he brought back the same people from the first time, and is there any pro fighters that has got any decent resume or any decent fighters that have got experience that can give him good sparring? Because if he's not getting good sparring, that's a problem. And if he's not investing in good sparring, that's a problem. So I think he's at Loughborough University sparring. So I don't get why he's not gone with Robert Garcia to America to prepare. I don't understand. That not my business. But I would have thought you would want to be away. If you want to be away from distractions, why don't you go and train in America and then come back afterwards? Now he's in Saudi Arabia, right? So he's arrived in Saudi Arabia. Good evening, Snazzy. James says, if AJ had boxing knowledge, he'd go to the USA and be trained by Ali Bashir. Well, that's what we all know that one. Or is he up in Loughborough? He was in Loughborough. He's now in Saudi Arabia. But I I would like to know how AJ's body works itself out. Like, he had stamina issues when he fought Usyk the first time round. So it was blowing out his ass when he fought Usyk the first time round. Now he's going to Saudi Arabia. Will he have enough oxygen in the muscles, or is he going to clamp up? I mean, I don't know. He's trained at Loughborough University. Now he's going to Saudi Arabia to acclimatise for a month, I believe. You know, can he fight? Can he fight at high altitude? Is he able to fight at high altitude? We know that Usyk has fought at high altitude before. Usyk is not a one-punch KO artist, but his mental strength, pressure, and agility angles mentally exhaust fighters, and this is what leads to stoppages. Opponents are mentally spent, and mental exhaustion is worse than physical exhaustion. Yep, that's what happened to Tony Bellew. So, I don't know. The guys that Usyk's sparring, he's sparring Martin Bakole, big and strong. That was Joshua's chief sparring partner. So he was sparring him, and he sparred the other guy as well. The reason Usyk has such good stamina is because he's so free of thought and calm in the mind. Yeah, that has a lot to do with it as well. That has a lot to do to it as well. So, Fury and Wilder is the only exciting thing to happen in this era. Now, Ruiz beating Joshua in America was very exciting. Joshua beating Klitschko was exciting. One of the best fights in the heavyweight era, the modern era, of course. Joshua going down, Joshua getting up to knock Klitschko out. That was pretty decent, I'd say. It's up there. When I heard AJ had gone to Robert Garcia, I borrowed England's famous catcher. Brav. Yeah. Bro, what are you doing? Yes, that really happened to Bellew. He did work early, but got totally tired. Plus, he's come from heavyweight down to cruiserweight. I would like to see that fight at heavyweight, actually. I would like to see him fight Usyk at heavyweight. That would have been interesting. Right, I don't know how much more I want to talk about tonight. So if somebody can tell me, get me a list of these guys that Joshua's sparring with, please get that information out for me. And also, that's the first thing. Yeah, that's the main thing. Find out who the sparring partners are that Anthony Joshua's sparring with. Ruiz versus AJ was insanely dramatic, especially Adam Smith commentary. Yes. If AJ loses, can he drop down to 156 to fight Conor Ben cash? No, he can fight Canelo. If Canelo wins, then he can fight Joshua. Because, as we know, as we all know, Canelo had a bad night. But if Canelo has his A game, he beats Bivol. Yeah. Like, the night that Canelo got beat by Mayweather, it wasn't his A game. But his A game, he beats Floyd Mayweather. Look, you got your ass beat. That was it. Outboxed, outmaneuvered. Adam Smith. And AJ's teaching and tottering. The American dream is becoming a nightmare. My word, such commentary. I was loving it, he says. Yard versus Peterbiev when? I believe it's in October. I want to get Tony Sesse in because Tony Sesse trained Anthony Yard as an amateur. I want to bring him in the room and have a talk with him about it. Adam Smith. A mouth-watering fight we've got here. Joshua is in trouble. Oh dear me. Listen, and Anthony, it's not hate. It's not hate. It's like people want you to do well, but you don't seem to want to do well for yourself. You know, it beggars belief as to why you would pick a man who's never had any success in the heavyweight division, yeah, against a man who trained your opponent, knows your opponent inside out, and would give you a psychological advantage going in. I mean, you're the only one in the world who wouldn't do that. I don't understand it. His legs are gone. There's a video where you can see Adam Smith live reaction doing the comms for that fight. You seen it? Yeah, I've seen it. Batavia versus Yard's dangerous. Please don't tell Yard to empty the tank for the love of that is how I know. Matthew Macklin's favourite line. The legs are shaky, Adam. No, but we know what. You know who we miss. The one I miss is it's reckless boxing from Benner. This is this is reckless. Oh, the legs are gone, Reg. The legs are gone. The legs are gone. That was Jim Watt. He was my favourite. Jim Watt was that guy that if you ever put money on the guy who gets rocked and he's getting knocked out, Jim Watt is terrible coverage. But Jim Watt is great coverage if it's your guy that's winning the fight and you've put a bet down. As once you hear, the legs are gone, Reg, the legs have gone. Once you hear that, bang on the chin. Once you hear that stuff, you know, it's your night, you're going to win some money, right? If your guy is the guy getting tagged and his legs are gone, the legs are gone, Reg, you know that you've lost your money. That's it. Once Jim Watt says, the legs are gone, Reg, that's it. Fight done, and you can forget going to the bookies the next morning. Fight is over. Fight is done. That Adam Smith commentary is epic. You could tell he wanted AJ to win, but he had to face the facts. And when the cornermen looked at each other, the best commentary for me is what's it? Harry Carpenter, Frank Bruno, Mike Tyson. What a monster this man Tyson is. Bruno's face already heavily marked. I'm fighting back. He's hurt, Tyson. He's hurt, Tyson. And Tyson knows it, but he's going for it. What a start to this fight. He hit him with a good left. He knows he can hurt him now. Get in there, Frank. And Tyson looks disturbed. And you think yourself, you're meant to be non-biased commentary. Get in there, Frank. You're a British commentator commentating on a big fight on, I think it was on BBC TV. Please go back and listen to that. Get a chance to listen to it. Frank Bruno, Mike Tyson with BBC commentary, Harry Carpenter. Absolutely. Get in there, Frank. Dear me. A lot of the 90 heavyweights sort of beating AJ. I think so. Go on, Frank. Says I did not see that fight. You need to go and watch that first round. Play that. I've played that so many times. It's still in my head. Before my time, you need to go and see that. Frank and Harry double act. Yeah. You know what I mean, Harry? You know what I mean? It's just not, Tyson's on me like a harbour shark. He was on me like a harbour shark, You know what I mean? But that's cricket, innit, that's cricket. And we hit Mike Tyson so hard, he's going to fall into Don King's lap. There's no way he's going to... That build-up for that fight, that rematch. Bruno, sorry, I'm just going a bit nostalgic here. Bruno, Tyson, the rematch. That was on Sky Sports. That was one of the best hyped-up fights. Proper hype. There's no way he's going to beat me. No way. No way. No way. So I'll tell you, I'm hit Mike Tyson so hard he's going to fall into that with Don King. Yeah. There's no way he's going to beat me. But he's going to have to kill me. He's going to have to murder me. Remember Frank saying all that stuff? He's going to have to murder me. He said that, yeah. And as Frank's coming to the ring, Frank's going, you must have done it about 25 times before he got into the ring to fight Mike. My gosh. Cruiserweight Holyfield would have beaten Pete Cruiserweight USYK. That cricket, Harry. That's cricket, Harry. That's cricket. You know what I mean? But the best one ever was, Lennox Lewis beat me, but I'm still going to sue you for calling me an Uncle Tom. Oh, nostalgia. Harbour Shark. What was you, Ben, build-up like back then? What was it like? What was it like? What do you say? I'll tell you another cracking fight you need to remember. Ben Watson. midweek sports special. I tell you, he's really gonna get hurt in this one. I tell you, I'm gonna hit so much for the left, he'll be crying for a right. I tell you, Nigel, listen, if you can't respect me outside the ring, you'll certainly respect me inside the ring. Boy, that was a fight. That was a proper fight. Proper fight. Do you know what? The other thing is, I want you all to help me. Can you please tell me? Please tell me. Please tell me. Please tell me. See, it might be the worst. It might be the worst impression, but I can say that I was part of the founding Frank Bruno Boxing Academy, having worked with the big man, Frank himself, Frank Bruno, and Julius Francis, and Wayne Llewellyn. So it might be the worst Bruno impression, but I'm glad that I contributed to that boxing academy back then. So checkmate. Art the Sharp. That's what it was, Art the Sharp. Tyson is champion again. That commentary made me both exuberant and sad for Bruno when Mills Lane rescued Bruno and pulled out the gum shield. I remember that. That's when Bruno tried to turn southpaw. Would he have really beaten Usyk? I'm not so sure. The problem, see, if Holyfield got close to Usyk, maybe, but look at Holyfield's record against southpaws. Yeah, he got beat by Nakamura, but Nakamura outboxed Holyfield in the first fight. So I don't know. Spank the yank. So moving on. Is the funny commentary? Is the funny commentary Bruno Tyson 1 or 2? Yeah, I think Bruno commentary both. The first one is quite funny. I think with the first round. Oh yeah, and Harry Carpenter again. Ooh, that's too good a punch. Ooh, and another. Like Harry Carpenter is rating the quality of the punch versus the quality of Bruno's chin. He goes, "Oh, that's too good a punch." Ooh, that's too good a punch. Oh dear, you need to go and listen. Make sure it's the British version with Harry Carpenter. I got you, boy. You must know Keith Bristol. Name sounds familiar. Keith Bristol. Name sounds familiar. Why would you look up Ben Eubank? There's nothing to look at. Absolutely nothing. He's a scrupulous fella. Yeah. He's an unbelievable panther. He's an unbelievable panther. The man is just an animal. Remember that one? Harry Carpenter's dead, I think, mate. Harry Carpenter's dead years ago. But yeah, he is a legend. Harry Carpenter. He was an absolute legend back in the day. Harry Carpenter's a great commentary. Oh, another guy you want to listen to in terms of great commentary is Dave Bontempo. No. Is it Dave Bontempo? No. The Colonel. Listen to the Colonel. Try and get the Colonel where John Ruiz, not Andy Ruiz, John Ruiz versus Roy Jones Jr. And Roy Jones, the first round, where Ruiz tags Jones and he staggers Roy Jones, and Roy Jones fires back him. That's really good. The commentary's there, is good there. Another bit of great commentary was Ian Dark, Oscar De La Hoya versus Chavez, second fight. He says De La Hoya is hitting Chavez with punches that would knock down the walls of a city. And then Ian Dark again, another classic statement is when Ian Dark turned around and said, Nazim Hamid is reading around the ring like a Saturday night drunk. Keith Harris, ex-pro, used to train with Bruno just as Bruno was turning pro. Bristol got beat by Dennis Andres. I've met Dennis Andres. He used to walk around Hackney. No. I wouldn't have met Keith Bristol. I only knew Frank from when he'd retired. That's after Frank had retired, so that's when I met Frank Bruno. And then I actually ended up training Nigel Benn's niece over in Kent. That's where the boxing gym was, over in Kent. And then we go to the young offenders and the pupil referral units, and then we get the kids out of there, the boys out of there, troubled boys, and bring them to the gym, and we do boxing with them there. Really good stuff. We'll go in the youth centres and teach boxing there. It's what Watson said to Ben's dad after he KO'd him. What did he say? What do you think, Bud Crawford? Do you think Bud Crawford beat Prime Floyd? No. The Colonel, Bob Sheridan. Bad boy, the Colonel. Bad boy, Bob Sheridan. The Colonel. Bad boy. Bad boy. Bob Sheridan is another one. Dave Bontempo. Brilliant. And I think, I tell you who was pretty good as well. Dave McCauley. He's pretty sharp. Dave McCauley is good in commentary. Some really good commentators around. Teddy is decent, unless you cheat, but he's all good. Yeah, why have I got into the whole commentary and thing? But yeah, we talk about Adam Smith. That was it. So yeah, all right. I've gone a bit off the tangent there, but he went, "I got your boy." Oh boy, is Rocky Fielding still fighting? If he's still fighting, then you can expect him on an undercard of a Matchroom show coming soon. Sure, he's still fighting. Yeah. Any other questions before I go? Anybody want to say anything before I go? Yeah? I think we're good. We're good. All right. Don't forget, before I go, smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button. The more you like, smash the like button, the more views I get. Obviously, it's all good for the channel. So smash the like button before you leave. Thank you so much. Leave your comments in the comment section. The more comments you leave in the comment section, it's great. I'd rather it be real comments in the comment section and not that Spanish, or I think Spanish person that keeps leaving these comments in the comment section. Oh yeah, Roy Jones when Marcus. When Marcus killed Pac-Man. He's not getting up, Jim. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I remember when they said, I think it was been Harry Carpenter again, when Harold Graham got knocked out by Julian Jackson. In fact, I met Harold Graham, and I told him that night you got knocked out by Julian Jackson, I bit my tongue open and was spurting blood the way you got knocked out. And I spoke to Julian Jackson a couple of times in my interview. And in interviews, I said, because of you, my tongue got cut and opened up because of you, that knockout. I really knocked him out. He goes, you could count 100, he still wouldn't get up. Why? What does the Spanish guy say? LOL. Check the comment section. I don't know what they're saying in the comment section. These Spanish people, they keep leaving these comments, the same ones as well. I'm sure it's to an adult website. I don't know. I've not checked it out, but it seems so because it says adult in it. Right, let me get out of here. Thanks for subscribing. And by the way, please leave, especially if you're a member, leave comments in the community section of videos you'd like me to do. Okay, so if you want me to do videos, I'll clump them and get the videos done for you. Sky show this weekend, yeah. Chamberlain versus Bilham Smith. Bilham Smith. Much love, Ingram Jones, the most dangerous puncher of all time. I don't know about all that, but Adam presumably on comms. Probably. I'm picking Chamberlain. I said I picked Chamberlain to go on to become a cruiserweight champion of the world. He's got to beat Bilham Smith for that to happen. So he's inspiring better fighters than Bilham Smith, inspiring guys like Deontay Wilder in the past. So he's had that American journey. So now I think he should come back and clean up in the UK, or at least beat Bilham Smith. That's what I expect him to do. If he's going anywhere, he's got to beat Bilham Smith. I think it's in Bournemouth. I like Bournemouth, actually. Nice place. Right, let me get out of here. This has been BWTM Sports. Don't forget to rate and subscribe. And please share the video. Share the video across WhatsApp and Facebook so people can join in and obviously subscribe to the channel. Spread the word.